Good day and welcome to the show, Soul Covers. We are back. Great night last night, going 2-1, up 2.43 units. Make sure you like the video, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. We love to get any support we can. Still trying to build something here on YouTube, so a little bit of support goes a long way for me. Make sure you go follow me on Twitter at Soul Covers. Get these bets as I place them. Sometimes, by the time we hit record, these numbers are no longer available. In the case of the bets I have on today, you can actually get a better number than I've got. We'll get into that. Looking back, yeah, great night last night. We first had the Knicks money line. Now, this was a game that I had zero opinion on. For me, it was a very simple cap. I see most of the board had a consensus Knicks money line at around minus 115, minus 120. So I see a Knicks money line at minus 110. Sure, take my opinion out of it. That bet ends up cashing. That was a pretty good game to watch, aside from the last 5 seconds or so. It was just some of the most confusing refereeing I've seen. Like the fact that Jalen Brunson missed that free throw. He missed that last free throw just so the Pistons had no timeouts. They had to get like a long full court shot off, and the buzzer goes off and they end up getting the inbound. Exactly what the Knicks didn't want to happen, but that's okay. We cashed that. We had the Thunder minus 8.5. That market got as high as OKC minus 10. Ended up seeing some late Grizzlies action, closed around 9.5, and yeah. Grizzlies, they were up by 30 that game. OKC somehow end up winning that game, but they did not cover. Lastly, my Clippers, first game in the Intuit Dome, first playoff game there, great atmosphere, just blew out the Nuggets. So love to see that. As I said, only got one bet down as of recording for Friday's games. For Saturday's games, we got a lot of action down, but for Friday, we've only got one bet. So let's get into it. First, we have the Celtics up 2-0 against Orlando. This spread opened at 4.5, maybe 5.5. It got as high as 5.5. Maybe some sixes appeared as well. From there, Jason Tatum gets marked as doubtful again. Drew Holiday is questionable, so now we see the market move back to 4.5. We see this total opened at 197.5. It might have crept up to 198, and yeah, it's around 197.5. So I'm holding a Celtics minus 5.5. Got that down for 3 units. For me, it's pretty simple. There is a pretty good system for 1 seeds and 2 seeds in the NBA playoffs in the first round. Anytime they are a 4-point favorite or better, if you just blindly bet them, you'll win 60% of the time since 2003. In this situation, we're getting a good number on Boston. Tatum being doubtful. Obviously, that news was kind of priced in as this line opened. Tatum was doubtful to questionable. With Holiday being questionable now, you see it at 4.5. I do not think there's been any sharp action really moving this line. I think it's just been injury news moving this back towards Orlando. I got this projected at Celtics minus 3.5, but I don't care about that. I'm just backing Boston. They're the superior team. I don't mind the fact that they've got some guys sitting out. It means more Peyton Pritchard, more Sam Hauser, maybe Baylor Scheinman can get some minutes as well. These guys are better than some of Orlando's starters. So look, we're taking Boston minus 5.5. That's what I'm grading my play at. You can still go grab a 4.5. I'm happy with that. Yeah, very, very simple cap. We see the total at 197. I've got it projected for 195.5. Wouldn't be opposed to an under in this spot if you can pick up maybe a 198. You do have to have some big balls playing a total under this low, but again, that like, you know, if you feel like it's an ugly bet, that's because it's probably a good bet. But Celtics minus 5.5, that's what we've got down. Let's move on to the next game where we have the Pacers and Bucks. It is a resounding Bucks market. Just a strong, loud Bucks market here. We saw this game open at Bucks minus 3.5. I don't know. I must have entered that number in incorrectly into my spreadsheet, but this game opened at Bucks minus 5.5, minus 3.5 at the sharp books. It is now at Bucks minus 5.5 across the board. Yeah, look, I understand the line movement. Like, this is definitely like a Bucks. Like, they're going to be desperate for a win here. They're much better at home versus on the road. But am I taking the Bucks in this spot? Absolutely not. And I've got that entered in completely wrong. It says there's a edge towards the Bucks. It should be an edge towards the Pacers. I've got this modeled at Pacers minus 1.5. Look, the Pacers playoff rotation, they have like a 10-point net rating. Bucks playoff rotation is like a 5-point net rating. I don't, yeah. Look, I understand the Bucks, like they need this game, but I would have to say at this point it's Pacers or nothing. If I see this market creep back towards the Pacers, I'm happy to jump on a Pacers plus 5. But for now, not going to fade the market. Yeah, I'm not one to say that my numbers are better than what the market says. Says no way in hell. So if you're holding a Bucks minus 3.5, that's a great ticket. But at this point, it's Pacers or nothing. We see the total open at 229.5. It is now at 230.5. It has gotten up to 231 at some of the sharp books as well. So looking like an over spot as well. My numbers also say over. I am not holding a 229.5 over. I think, yeah, it's consensus 230.5. So definitely looking like a buck spot and an over spot. For me, I would have to say at current numbers, it's Pacers and over. But for now, not getting in on the Pacers until the market says so. Last game on the card is the Lakers and Timberwolves. This game, it did briefly open at Timberwolves minus 1. It then just went straight to minus 3. From there, we have seen little to no movement. This series is tied 1-1. This is a very tough series to bet into. And this is a game where you just want to get some more information on both of these teams and then just come back in on the other side in game 4. For me, yeah, I got this modeled at Wolves minus 1.5, so I wouldn't be opposed to taking a Lakers plus 2.5, Lakers money line if the market starts to creep towards the Lakers. But for now, I don't have anything on the side. I certainly understand the Timberwolves sentiment here, but yeah, nothing from me here. As for the total, we saw it open at around 208.5 and is now bet down to 205.5. I certainly understand that. I got this at 203.5. I am not holding an under though, so if you're holding an under 208.5, good for you. I've got nothing on this total, so yeah, look, tough slate to bet into. In terms of best available bets on the board, I would say probably Lakers money line and probably Pacers and over. Let's get into our best bets. No, not there. Best bets. Only have one bet on the card, and it is a bad ticket as of recording. We have the Celtics minus 5.5. Still like the 4.5. That line movement is just based on injury news. It is not based on sharp actions. So I would go grab it if you can. 4.5. Bet365 is a juiced 4.5. I think you can get a 4.5 at minus 110 elsewhere. Let me know what action you're on today. It is a tough slate to bet into. Great slate to watch. Tough slate to bet into. Until next time, let's get them booked salty.